Good. Okay, we are adjourned from the village board meeting and we will move right into the planning, uh, village of the whole.
Later.
Okay,
Okay. President Weatherston,
still here.
Trustee McManus,
Here.
Trustee Wishaw,
Here.
Trustee Pierce,
Here.
Trustee Stillman,
Here.
Trustee Martin,
Here.
and Trustee Lambert.
Okay, we'll open up for public comment again. If anybody would like to make a, I'm sorry. I keep doing that every time, don't I? Approval of the minutes from the committee of the whole from February 11th. Second? We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that motion? All in favor, say aye. Why do I do that every time? All right, we jump to public comment again. Anybody like to voice their opinions to the committee of the whole? We have 2 minutes to do so. Don't see anybody jumping up. All right, committee updates. I think I have the first one. Racine County Intergovernmental Cooperation Council. At the last meeting we had, we got a lengthy um,
What was that?
introduction into a new county facility that's to be built yet that will be used for opioid treatment and other adult treatment programs. I want to add that the 2 people that did the presentation run the program. However, they were inept at explaining how much it cost. And the mayor of Burlington asked specifically what the taxpayer burden was, and they didn't know. They know that they get money from grants, Medicare, Medicaid, those kind of things, but they did not know the percentage of money that comes from taxpayers, which I was sitting next to Mr. Malicki. He was very surprised that they could not answer that question. So I'm sure Ralph is going to fix that item. So that's all I really have to add. Nancy, you had planning commission?
We know that what we just saw on the board is basically the planning commission. Planning commission did meet last night. I guess the primary thing that came out of it is the open space and recreational plan via sewer pack was moved out for a month so that people would have more time to read it, take a look at it, and make comment on it. Other than that, there wasn't anything that was passed. Will be before this board in 2 weeks. Otherwise.
Thank you, Nancy. Parks and Rec, Holly?
So we just, sorry. So currently we're working on, with the engineering department on our phases for Crawford Park. It's going along very well. Ryan gives us a good update every meeting. And, I think we had some kids enjoying the sledding hill over the last couple weeks. As far as our long-term plan for the parks up to 2050 feet, yes. We completed that after working on it for numerous weeks, and that will help us be able to be in compliance with federal laws that allow us for grants, things like that. It was just ideas. It's nothing that is set in stone, and nor does it provide for cost estimates for the parks, anything like that. It just basically is some ideas and gives us a outline of where the committee can go when we start looking at additional park services other than just Crawford Park. We also have on the agenda a option for some prairie to be put into Chapel Park at no cost to us right now, and so we're looking to present that to the board, I think next month at the next meeting. So we've made a lot of progress in the last year or two, and we've been bringing some really great amenities to the village.
Thank you. Mr. Wishaw, would like to?
Okay.
Sure. Holly, earlier, maybe last year, there was discussion of a possible dog park. In the village. Has that revived? Is that in the offing? It seems to me that might be something that could happen.
I still personally am in support of it. I think because last year was kind of outside of the norm where we approached the board for actual budgetary movement to Crawford Park, whereas usually we just rely on our $1,000 per fees and things like that. I think we had kind of put that on the back burner just because of the amount of money that we had spent in Crawford. It hasn't come up recently. I'm not saying it's not on the committee's mind. I think it just was just a priority to get Crawford settled. I know I'm still in favor of it. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's overall a favorable thing. I just know we haven't talked about it yet. So,
And no more action on Gordon Park then?
well, what actually got brought up with Gordy Park was with this prairie at Chapala, we actually mentioned that in lieu of the dog park, we were looking at other options. And the prairie walkways, things like that at 7 Mile or at Gordy Park were also an option. And actually, the gal that was presenting, Ryan, remind me of the group she was with. There you go. She said that she actually was happy we brought up another park that could use this type of project and get back to us on that.
With possibly funding from that.
Yes, they would actually pay for it to be installed and maintenance for a couple of years.
Okay, great. I hope you pursue it because right now Gorney Park is just
Yeah.
an expense to us and it's useless.
And I think Gordy Park has been a
It's nice.
topic of our conversation of the committee for a while.
Well, on the duck park, you brought it forward and presented to the board for approval. And of course, it got voted down, so I guess I would think at that time we kind of had funding for it, we were looking for funding. And I get things go on, but I agree, it would make really good use up in that part of the village.
I think it still does. I think we'd have to look at how to bring that forward again if we need to do a whole new agenda item.
This is, the report's not open discussion, so.
Sorry.
That's quite all right. Let's move on. Mr. Wishaw, you want to talk to us about the Caledonia Utility District?
I got about an hour and a half presentation. Is that,
Comes under the lengthy.
well, Mr. Stacy's in the audience, so he's gonna be critiquing my performance. The pressure's really on. All right, I wrote down some notes here. So, number one, the Central Lift Station Attenuation Basin is proceeding. We did see as a committee back in November, a 3D rendering of it from Foth. The cost estimate is still at about $22,500,000. We could break ground late this year, potentially, or early next year, and it'll take about 2 years to complete. Number two, TID4 elevated water storage tank, the DNR and PSC approvals have been granted. So construction contracts have been signed and construction on the water main should start on or about March 10th. Is that correct, Tony? Okay. Number three, a water rate case study we'll probably be doing sometime this year, maybe third quarter. If approved, it wouldn't be effective until 2026. And as you know or don't know, the water is 100% funded by user fees. There's no tax levy involved as there used to be. I mentioned that any rate increase wouldn't be until next year. Number four, the I&I issues we've had over the last 5 or 6, 7 years. The most recent one was February 2023, where we exceeded our contracted limits with the Racine Racine Sewer Utility. Tony presented a plan to address the most recent issues in November of last year. Okay. And he'll have to do another update in November of this year. And the attenuation basins that I mentioned is a big part of the solution. We'll be presenting the board, though, with some options later this year on some of the other things that we've talked about with potentially private sewer laterals. But we don't have the details worked out yet, but we should have that. We've been talking about that for a couple of years now. So we should have something to present to the board, I'll say mid-2025. Number 5, the Caledonia Utility Standard Specification Manual has been updated with Tony and both included a bunch of written policies that we did previously have codified in that manual. So those are now in there. And last but not least, the infamous utility billing that we've been talking about. We are going to include a note on the next billing that giving them, the people, an option of receiving that billing via email and paying online as well. I can't recall. Did we decide that we could do that? That's what I thought.
Paying online, we can already do.
Yeah.
The thing we were trying to avoid is trying to cut down on our mailing
Yep.
costs.
Yep.
So we are looking to add that component in where they can get their bills electronically.
That's all I have.
Fran, I see we left you off the list for some reason for your committee. We'll make sure we get you next time, all right?
Yeah, you can. I can tell you that, Visit Racine County is, we have a meeting on Thursday and we're discussing remodeling to that building. Building is kind of a disaster as it is.
It
So
looks like
what we're
nineteen
looking at
fifty in there.
Pardon?
It looks like 1950 in there.
Yeah, it does. So what we're looking at and trying to stay
Right.
within, cost is some remodeling and possible rental of some of the space. And
Okay.
using it in a more useful to the village and useful to the county way.
What's the name of that committee?
Visit Racine County.
Visit recent. I'm sorry we left you off the agenda, Fran, but we'll make sure we'll pick on you next time,
I'm
okay?
putting on it right now.
Yeah, I thought about adding it under public
All right.
comment.
Thank you. New business, resolution to create public records request for fee schedule. Who's willing to take this?
You want me to
Did you
start?
wanna do it?
Okay. All right, so Rebecca threw together some information for us on a standardized record request fee schedule because we have in our ordinances just it's 25 cents per page for a paper copy, but it's kind of outdated, and the way that we provide records now is primarily through email. If it's really large, we might have to provide a thumb drive or something like that. So we thought it would be best to, rather than willy-nilly decide every single time what we should charge or if we should charge, to have a formal fee schedule that we can refer to so that we're consistent in what we're charging people.
Where is that at? Are you,
It's an attachment in
okay,
here.
all right, Holly, did you have a question?
2 comments. In 5 and 6, it says the town. So it needs to
Yeah,
be amended.
because that's right from the ordinance, and the
Yeah.
ordinance needs to be
And then
updated.
the other recommendation is in 5, when you say hourly rate of $20, given sometimes that police departments or villages, cities get inundated with requests for data that can often be difficult. And I know some other jurisdictions have the hourly plus fringe benefits as well. So, would not be uncommon to have that. So that's just a suggestion to put the $20 an hour plus fringe benefits as well. So that we're not losing out on looking for these record requests.
Yeah, so in the, public records statutes, it requires just the lowest hourly rate, unfortunately. Also in the fee schedule that we have here, we have kind of accounted for certain employees with special skills, charging a higher hourly rate. And also this is only intended to be applicable to the village, not the fire department, not the police department. So I have some suggested footnotes that Elaine and I had talked through, that are not currently on here that I think we should be having to further.
This is just a draft.
This is a draft, and then after we go over, if you have any suggestions that you want to see on there, and then the footnotes that Rebecca mentioned, we'll have a final resolution for the next meeting.
I guess that's what I was asking. Are we gonna see this in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's some constraints on how much you can charge.
Well, yes, so there are constraints, but there's also, like minimums you have to reach before you can charge. That is accounted for in the location fee section specifically. It has to be $50 or over. And our footnotes that we want to add, I'll just kind of launch into that. That this does not apply to the police department, fire department. They have their own internal policies on how to handle all of this, so we don't want to usurp any of that. And we also want to indicate that this doesn't preclude the village from charging additional fees it incurs. For instance, if you have to use a third party to get the data that's being requested, let's just say it's data your insurance company has, or data your IT department has, but your IT department's a third party. We want to make sure that those costs are recoverable for the request.
Moving on then, suggested items to be placed on,
Want to make a motion to,
oh, are you ready? You say it's a draft, you're ready to
it's a,
refine it and move forward?
you could,
We do
Allow.
it subject to legal divisions.
Okay,
Make a motion to move the fee schedule forward to legal for final draft, I'm guessing, final.
or do you want to move it to the board?
If you could, approve, or recommend approval to the village board, subject to legal review.
I make that motion.
Do we have a second on that? Nancy has a second. All in favor, say aye. It is therefore moved. Items for the next committee of the whole. Nancy, what was it that we?
We're coming up on the first quarter, so this would be going to Wayne when we hit the full first quarter. If we could do the budget to actual review, just the high level review that we're doing.
Anything else? Okay, we have some continuing business. Stop sign concern 7 Mile on Highway 32. Brian, did you want to attack this or? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dump it on you, but.
No, this is an update to the previous meeting, information you requested to get some further information regarding a quotation for the installation of blinking or flashing stop signs. I was able to get some information back actually regarding the jurisdiction of the stop signs, and they actually are within the state DOT's jurisdiction. They're not our stop signs. So in order to even get to that point, we'd have to request a crash analysis through the DOT to determine the viability of modifying stop signs. And their first solution would be to post permanent flags. And then if their internal state policy, or internal, I guess, statewide policy regarding the application of the stop signs based on their crash analysis, they would then determine if stops for blinking or flashing signs are necessary. And then if it reaches that point, then we would be able to issue or go through a permit process with the state to then modify the stop sign, but all the costs would be on us as we're understanding. And as of now, the sign itself was through TAPCO $1,625 per sign. So ultimately, based on the crash analysis that I already performed with the 5 years and what we've had historically on this intersection, there's no evidence to support that.
Did you bet 8 o'clock?
So, outside of this
Seven.
stage as being an outlier. So based on my staff report, essentially staff does not recommend that we further pursue, the modification of the stop signs for the reasons listed on my memo.
Any comments?
We need a motion to file.
receive and file or to move forward or?
Does anybody have discussion?
Holly?
I just want to say thank you for looking into it, because
Yeah.
that's all we were asking for or all I was asking for, I should say, was just to look into a cost. And I guess we'll just keep an eye on it. If something big comes at that intersection, we can always readdress it, but I appreciate you looking into it.
Do we have a process and way to let the people who came know, who came forward to us, or do we need to?
I'm asking. I have it I have their email, I can reach out to them and just let them know that we looked into it and.
Okay, just, yeah, let them know that we did.
Dale?
Hey, Ryan, did we ever look into seeing who actually monitors that corner to the northwest? Trimming all that brush out there, so at least make it more visible?
Yes, I actually was gonna try to add that in before the end, but there's a transitional point between DOT jurisdiction and Caledonia staff jurisdiction. I had the DPW guys go out and take a look at it. They're gonna try to address the stuff that's within our jurisdiction, which is primarily around there's a utility pole, but that's a little bit further in along 7 Mile to the west. The northwest corner specifically, like the ditch line area, that is the state's jurisdiction, which would more than likely be maintained by the county. So if we have concerns on like tall grasses and things like that were in there that aren't something enclosed on private property, I can reach out to the county and / the state regarding that specifically.
Okay, so between us and the county, we should be able to clean it up a little bit.
Ideally, yes.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Ryan, if the county declines for whatever reason, could we at least ask if our guys are out there cleaning our half of it, if they could just do it?
I don't recommend establishing a way that we
Okay.
maintain the state's right of way. If a homeowner walked over there one day on a weekend, I'm not here on the weekend. But no, at this time, I would not.
Right, I'll make a motion to receive and file.
All in favor?
Uh,
So there's a staff bet on what time we would end tonight.
And how we doing?
And if we end right now, Jennifer wins. So how much was it? $5? $5?
We didn't all get in.
We didn't establish, you
So
know,
it was a
over,
staff,
under.
it was a staff bet. So I don't see Todd's wallet coming out yet, but. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank everybody.